Namaste. I'm Ezechi Ade. This is the Golden Circle Movement Channel. Today I'd like to discuss near death experiences, out of body experiences, and astral travel. So let us begin. I have experienced each of these conditions and will relate to you my personal experiences. So, to begin, when I was 3 years old, I plugged a bobby pin into a socket and it stopped my heart. It caused me to pass out, and I don't remember seeing anything on the other side. But I do remember hearing the voices of my family as they were crying and struggling to get me to come back to my body. So I did come back. And what we noticed is that my hand that touched the socket, that touched the bobby pin, was burned, second degree burns. My other hand, my left hand, which was palm down on the carpet, left a burn mark on the carpet. So it seemed like the energy traveled through my body and exited through my left hand into the carpet, leaving a handprint burned in to the carpet. So, what happened in that time? We're not really sure, but we do know this. I have been a little bit different. I've always been um, predisposed to spiritual phenomena. I sometimes become made aware of things before they happen. Sometimes I have profound dreams. Sometimes I feel there is contact. I'm having contact with a spiritual entity or other types of paranormal phenomena, including extraterrestrial phenomena. But these things we'll discuss at another point. Now we'll discuss my out of body experience. My out of body experience happened when I was around 21. I was homesick and I just was so weak that I could not function. I couldn't get up or whatever. So I decided to meditate. I felt that if I were to meditate that I might be able to heal myself. So I began to meditate. All the years since 7 to 21 where I tried to meditate, I would go to a certain point, I would look down and see my body, and then I would get scared and jump back into my body. But this time, when I looked down and saw my body, I was fine with it. And I drifted into space, and where I found myself was a dark place where little tiny lights were going by. And one of the lights presented itself in front of me. And I recognized the smell of this light as my mother. I understood from her that there is a difference between heaven and hell. What you experience in life may be heaven like or hell like, but with leaving the earth and having unfinished business, my mother had a hell like situation where she was trapped, so to say, in her own despair. And now I have presented myself in the spiritual realm, and she began to communicate with me. She began to communicate in images, and these images spoke to me. I gathered that I was to carry on her work, to fulfill her mission, to help raise her vibration in the spiritual realm by work that I would complete in the living world. I wanted no part of it. I felt like this was unexpected, too much. I didn't know how to handle it. So I started to drink and smoke and just stay up late and not take care of my body, eating terrible food and what have you. And I tried to put the images of what had happened out of my mind, but I was never able to put it behind me. So at one point, I decided to clean my body, to detox, and give it a try. If working spiritually was productive in my life, I decided I would take up that path as opposed to the material path that I was on. As it turned out, the spiritual path is the path that I want to be on. And I have gradually helped to complete my mother's mission. So, my astral travel was an experience that may be considered controversial. It may be beyond what many are willing to accept. But during my time with the Church of Scientology, I underwent what is called auditing. Now, there are different forms of auditing that the Scientologists perform. In this particular session, I was using the e-meter. I was on the e-meter, I was holding the cans, and the auditor asked me to go down the hall. So, in my mind's eye, I just instantaneously arrived down the hall. And I was able to describe the people and the situations that I found there. She then asked me to look at the earth. And so I did. I found myself instantaneously outside of the earth's atmosphere, observing our blue sphere. She said, please look at Mars. And so I did. I found myself instantaneously outside of the atmosphere of Mars. Very thin atmosphere, but I was at Mars and able to observe the planet. I even went to Jupiter. I've even been beyond the Milky Way. And I would have to say that being a fan of science fiction, being a fan of the effects and all of the different techniques that are used to present science fiction to us in this modern era, don't do justice to the truth of seeing a heavenly body outside of its atmosphere, outside of its gravitational effect, or at least not affecting my spiritual body. But these three different types of travel are spiritual consciousness travel. Have you ever had a near-death experience, an out-of-body experience? Have you ever traveled in the astral plane? I'd like to hear your story in the comments section. Please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you ring the notification bell so you know when we're uploading new videos. And like and share this video. Please participate in this discussion in the comments. I check them every day. I'm Ezechi Ade for the Golden Circle Movement channel. Namaste.